All right. Good morning. Good evening. Good night. Bitcoin is at 43K. We are crashing here. What is happening in the crypto markets? Oh, wait, that was just 24 hours ago. Now we live in a new world. It's a new time. Bitcoin is at 48K. The entire market is pumping. The bull is back. It's nice to have everybody in the house here for Layer 1 Live. Everyone's giving us a countdown, so we decided to press the live button. I'm with my main man, Crypto Buffalo. He's going to be giving some great commentary today. What is up, Mr. Buffalo?
What up, Q Master? Your new name is trending on Twitter. I've been seeing it everywhere lately. Somebody's going to get a fresh tat of that one pretty soon. Man, it's been a crazy weekend. I turned off Blockfolio. It got that crazy. I was like, I can't watch the charts. I can't pay attention to some of these projects that are going straight to the bottom. But you know what? It doesn't seem like it's going to happen because institutional money is holding strong, and we're back up at 48, man. Feeling fresh, feeling fine.
Yeah, Mr. Michael Saylor himself from MicroStrategy bought the dip again. We'll touch on MicroStrategy here in a second, but they are absolutely diamond hands, ape gang, all of the memes that you want to put out there. MicroStrategy is about that life, and they bought the dip. We'll get to there in a second. Hopefully you bought the dip, because that is what happened. Basically, we had a sharp, trend downward the last 7 days. I think it was one of the biggest losses for Bitcoin over a 7-day period since this time last March in 2020. So that was definitely, I think that had to do with something around Black Thursday too. So definitely a tough week, but if you diamond handed it out, then you are looking pretty, at least if, even Cardano holders for some reason are still looking pretty here today. We have got a great episode. Buffalo's going to take you through a lot of what happened over the past weekend. I got my absolute ass kicked in Little Lads Poker. I think there was some rewards for who took me out too. So definitely a shout out to the lads that took part in that event this weekend. We had a lot of different things happen in the community over the past 7 days. So we have a great week ahead of us. And I think I'll get to some comments here after you talk a little bit about your weekend, Buff. I know you were watching some UFC.
Jeez, don't remind me. That main event card sucked. I hate when I see a fighter with so much potential not even do anything for 25 minutes. It's just one of those things that happens. Next weekend's card's going to be even more. I'm a big UFC guy, so when UFC comes on that launch on Dapper Labs, man, on the Flow Network, I am going to go very ape for it. All in, double all in, borrow some money from the neighbor, all in. I'm a big fan of the UFC. Worked for the UFC. That was one of my bucket lists when I was on the road. Getting to hang out with the old Dana White and the old Joe Rogan. Not that they know me by name, but actually Dana does know my story because I was living in an RV in the parking lot as we were shooting the live Tough Enough, season 13, I think it was. Yeah, man, weekend was crazy. The UFC card kind of sucked. I missed Lads Poker. I slept like a newborn baby in a coma or something. Ooh, that was weird. But yeah, I don't know, man. I just slept through it. Do you remember who knocked you out? Because I remember who knocked me out the week before.
I'm almost
that was
positive.
Asmodee.
Yeah, Asmodee got you. It was Crypto Origami. I was running the table for a second. I had Loadmaster on my table. I had Sunrise Sunset on my table. And I had a couple others, but I was running it for maybe 30 seconds. I was at the lead, 13,000 chips. I thought I was a big dog. And then Origami must have cleaned out his table because he literally came over with like 50 grand chips while we were like still kind of shrimping it out. So I got flushed out. I don't remember the actual couple hands that led to my demise, but it was definitely a good time. XY was doing some great things with Lads Poker.
Yeah, man, I definitely did not plan on missing it, and I am very ashamed, and I'll do the walk of shame if I have to this whole week until I can get back in there and someday maybe make the final table. So shout out to XPlow and the Lads Poker. I missed that one. That sucked. And then Mr. Bear, my dog, man, he woke me up this morning at 3 a.m. for the old Puke Monster 5000 that decided to rev up. And I say rev up because my dog is 1 year old, and he warned me that he had to puke. So I took him 6 flights down to the streets in Seattle and let him puke on the streets of Seattle. I gotta tell you, Mr. Bear, well done, sir. He's been upgraded to a responsible Puke Monster 5000. So been a crazy weekend. I'm ready to get into it, man. Let's talk crypto. Let's get back into it. The Bulls are coming back out, and it's a good time here on Monday. By the way, this is March 1st. So if you woke up this morning and the 2 words out of your mouth were rabbit, well, guess what? You're going to have an amazing March. I did not do that.
Listen, I had no idea what Buff was talking about. We were talking Rabbit pre-episode, and I literally drew a blank face. So for those of you that Rabbit, congratulations on potentially having a good March. I'm going to get to some of these comments. We got Easy in the house. Easy in crypto, one of the most faithful lads that we have. He was on, so he's, flying from Costa Rica to LA or California. And he got stuck up, I think, like 24 hours. Like he was doing a lot of, basically had a lot of issues trying to get back to the States. So he just landed. Apparently, it's great to have him back in the States. And it's awesome to have Easy be a part of our community. So wanted to give a quick shout out. We got Mass Mage, Choina's in the house, Orlando's in the house, Flint Savage, Can Wolf. I could go down the line. You guys are killing it today here. And Ballas is saying a Brock Lesnar versus Cain Velasquez 2 would be nice. Yeah, there are a bunch of UFC cards that are coming to Flow that are going to be, very, very, very popular. So excited for that. I want that Nate Diaz kind of looking at the camera, throwing up the birds. Like that's right after he beat Conor McGregor.
That moment, man.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Keep going.
So here's what we got today, guys. We are going to get to some other lads things here. If you're coming in our pre-episode, we're touching on a lot of our community and a lot of what we're building here at the LADZ Crypto Network with Layer 1 and all the things that we're doing. If you guys want to skip to the stories and you just want to hear news, we got the timestamps below. Again, if you come in after the episode or you're time traveling.
Yeah, I was like, wait, is this live? You can do that? Wow.
This is actually a recording, Buffalo. We're not live at all. All right, so we actually have breaking quick NFTs and DeFi today. We're going to touch on Blau. Blau had a great sale, $11.6 million in sales for him over the past, 24 hours there. He ran a 48-hour auction. There were a lot of whales bidding. I know we had some lads talking in our Discord server about whether they could get in. It's a whale game. The NFTs are mostly a whale game. I mean, we see a ton of other things that you can get into. It's obviously a bigger and bigger industry each day. But when it comes to an auction like this, there's only 44 ever going to be minted, and they had a lot to do. There were a lot of other features and utility pieces that went along with this Blau auction other than just the actual NFT itself. The whales really outbid each other. I know Whale Shark was in there a couple times bidding like upwards of $2 to $3 million on a single NFT that also went along with the utility features we'll touch on. So I don't want to skip to that too quickly. We've got some quick news. Again, Bitcoin did tumble down to 43K and then made its way swiftly on back up to 48. Just in time, Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy were able to get there and get some BTC. Rakuten, basically the Japanese Amazon, if you're not familiar, they're allowing crypto payments there, a quick switch, no fees. They're basically going to allow people that hold crypto to buy on their app more easily. Tether's getting extorted. We've touched on Brian Armstrong a bunch. He's rich as hell now, one of the top 100 richest people once it goes to IPO. And Kraken's doing a new raise. Cuban's in this stuff, and then the NFTs. We talked about it previous to the episode, Buff. There are a lot of DeFi people who just aren't getting their fix because NFTs are having their time in the sun right now. So we have some DeFi news to get to, but NFTs, Euler Beats generating 1.1 million in royalties this week. We'll get into how that project works, but Cuban definitely gave him a shout out on that Bankless episode. Sandbox is doing their land sales, absolutely killing it with their public land sales. Fewocious did something alongside. I think she got a little pushed out news-wise by Blau and what Blau did, but she raised, I think she sold 3.3 million in like NFTs and sneakers. It was like a digiphysical drop on Nifty Gateway. Really cool stuff. And Flow. How do we not talk about Flow? We can't. That's basically
every show we gotta talk about Flow.
Hey man, they're killing it. I think it's like at $27 at this point if you're on the Flow train. Although so many lads are trying to get on the Flow train and cannot. We're waiting anxiously for that Coinbase listing and all that good stuff. So a lot of different things going on there within NFTs. And lastly, we have DeFi. We're going to talk Fura Combo getting exploited for 14 mil. Grayscale is looking to add their exposure to DeFi tokens, specifically ones like Aave. We'll touch on that. And then DYDX went live with Starkware. Basically, a lot of DeFi applications moving to layer 2s. So quick shout out to QuickSwap as well along the DeFi. I own Quick. I want to give a quick shout out there. But QuickSwap is absolutely killing it. Shout out to Loadmaster himself for being here talking about Quick. Definitely a good time. So, yep, 10 hut. There you go. Is that wow? That's a hell of a picture. Okay, as long as we don't get banned by or YouTube for that picture. I was gonna say Coinbase, but I don't know why they would be watching.
Oh man, they own YouTube. They're big now.
Brian might make a play. Anyways, Buff, that was a long intro. If there's anything you want to get to as far as the calendar for this week, definitely hit it. We've got some lads comments that we'll get to as well.
You got it, man. Today is Monday. If you are new here, which I've seen a lot of these faces, usernames here, so I recognize most of you, but if you are brand new here, welcome. This is Layer 1 Live on the LADZ Crypto Network. So today is Layer 1 Live. On Friday, there'll be another episode of Layer 1 Live. Now this Wednesday, we do NFT Live, which is we're going deep into the rabbit hole of the NFT space, and we do a lot of coverage. Ronan the Collector will be in there with Nifty Q. I'll be directing it. We'll bring in live guests. We do a lot of fun things there. And then on Thursday, we've got Easy Street. It's just popping off. If you guys haven't been in the Discord on the LADZ City and listened to an Easy Street broadcast, you are missing out. My man Easy in Crypto has come up from Costa Rica. He is now up in the States, and he is rocking and rolling with some higher bandwidth internet, and he's crushing it in Easy Street every week. So do not miss it this Thursday. I missed it last week, and I already I've got remorse, man. Easy. I'll be there this week. I'll be listening in and helping you promote it. And then Friday, we have another Layer 1 Live, like this show right here. And then we have LADZ Radio, which I host. Now, let me tell you about Friday's LADZ Radio last week. I got a little sloppy. I mean, I opened up my piggy bank of LADZ, and I just kind of just shook it all over the place and just threw some LADZ tokens everywhere. It was a grand old time. There were some birthday presents being thrown around with some LADZ tokens. Shout out to Xplow on his last birthday. And, it was one of those great auction. We did a Street Fighter unopened pack that I can't remember who won, but congratulations to whoever did. And it was a great LADZ Radio, which will be, again, this Friday. And then we have LADZ Game Night. Now, last week, we didn't have a huge turnout, mainly because a lot of people are still learning about this game that's changing my life. It's called Valheim. Now, maybe changing it or ending it. I can't remember which way that's going there. But Valheim is a great little open-world survival Viking-type game that we played last week. And I don't know if we're playing it again this week, but it was definitely fun to have some LADZ in there. And I do apologize, Q, for taking the structure of the house you were working on and going and digging a hole at the bottom of your house that started collapsing the structural integrity of your building. I wasn't quite thinking. I really wanted a basement in that house. And next time I'll ask you before I start digging a hole.
The fact that the physics engine knows that you can build a basement and then destroy the actual structure of the house. Llama was there commenting along. That was a fun time, man.
Oh, yeah, we had Fishy in there as well. And Prodigy, the host of Game Night, was just... He kept trolling us with an actual troll. That's next level right there. Good fun. I hope this week I'll be playing some Valheim. I'll open up my world so people can join in. The password will be LADZ, and I'll post in Game Night whenever I'm live or if Q's live. We'll try to get some of you LADZ in there. It's a great way to communicate with the LADZ, get to know each other. I know a lot of you guys, it seems one-sided where you're just commenting right now. When you come back into LADZ City, you can have more of a one-on-one with us. Open mic, we can get to know more about you. The best way to get there, if you're brand new, go to your browser right now, type in LADZ.city and hit enter. And boom, you'll be directed to the front gates of LADZ City in our Discord, and we'll get you all set up.
Awesome, man. Great rundown there. Great rundown of the calendar. We're doing a lot of awesome things within our network, within our content network, within our community. So shout out to everybody making that happen. You guys are really kind of pushing us forward here, either directly or indirectly, or even, showing up to these events and commenting along. That's really pushing us forward. So shout out to Fishy. Fishy is in the house. Paul Young Jr. He's wait, I almost did an inside joke that might not make sense without context, but Day of Defeat, my man, we have to get on there a couple more times this week for sure. So, all right, so we are pretty much ready. Please leave a like. I know there were some smash the like comments there, so smash the like, leave a comment. Obviously, comment along with the lads. If you're new and don't know much about crypto, NFTs, DeFi, that's what we're here for, man. Join, like Buff said, LADZ.city, and we, LADZ, LADZ.city, and make sure you get in there and ask some questions. That's what is awesome about this community. We're so open about doing different things as far as events, but also different kind of educational pieces for people that are new. It's a great little time here. So
exactly, and also to have people contribute. Now, we are hiring still. Last week I announced it. We are looking for LADZ show producers to help us with all the shows throughout the week. If there's any shows you really love, from Layer 1 Live to NFT Live to Game Night to Easy Street to LADZ Radio, all those are looking for show producers to help the shows grow. And then we're also looking for video editors. If you're a really good whiz video editor, reach out to me because I'm definitely looking to build a media team inside of LADZ to help the production. Social marketers. If you guys are in crypto all day, you're constantly tweeting about great projects, utilize that now with the LADZ. We can help you gain some more LADZ tokens, help you get a position where the goal, if you're looking to work in crypto now and you're done with the IRL, you're done. You say, you know what, no more of this crap. Crypto is where it's at and you want to come work in LADZ City. Well, now's the time because we have some great positions, the show producer, the video editor, and the social marketer, and of course the LADZ radio producer. So any of those positions tickle your fancy, reach out to us because we are hiring right now.
Awesome. Left House Crypto, Magic 808, Crypto Lander, Artie Trader, XPlow, Choina. Shout out to everybody that's joining us for this episode. We got about 40 people in the house as we gear up here and get ready to start the episode. All-time high is going to be 116. If we hit 117, we are going to be distributing more LADZ here today. You are earning LADZ here for being on the token. I know Roll has been really wonky the past couple days. They're dealing with scaling up. I think Terry Crews was talking about some Roll stuff. Yeah, Mr. Burgerman himself. I don't know if that's the nickname he'll go with. But listen, on the LADZ Crypto Network, we are getting a lot of nicknames that maybe some of us don't want to have. But I'll leave it there. Okay, that is about it. We will get started. I want to give a quick shout out to Small Town Cowboy and Asmodai. They're working on some interesting things with the Uplift world. We're looking to have Corey and team from Uplift to talk about these things. You will get some updates there shortly. So without further ado, we are again at 48K around for Bitcoin, and the market has recovered. Crypto has recovered. It was a short bear market, so happy to have you guys, and hopefully we didn't lose anybody through that process. We've got musician Blau settling $11 million worth of NFTs for his latest album. There was a couple different things that kind of went that were, I guess, added to this piece here. So we have Blau. There was an auction for 44 pieces. If you aren't privy on the details, it lasted for about 48 hours, and this is what it looked like. People came in, they bidded on these different pieces in different ways. It's called the Ultraviolet Collection, and basically we had rewards based on where you ended up in this auction. So, and it went down to even if you didn't win, like you weren't a top, I believe, like 6 person here, you got a limited edition kind of NFT for taking part. But we have this number one come through, and I believe the top bid was about 6.6 million. Whale Shark got outbid there at the last second. I'm going to see if I can pull up the exact number because there was a lot of cool kind of rankings that happened. Let me see. I got the view rankings in front of me. Bidder 65, 3.6. So I outbid myself there, but 3.6 million. Looks like Llama. That might be Llama. There's a lot of 6s in this. So yeah, there he is. Bidder 65 walked away with the number one, standing here. We had Whale Shark. We had 888. Which was another bid, but Whale Shark and this guy pretty much outbid each other until it ended up at 3.6. Now you might ask what that actually gets the bidder there, the winner. Well, you're going to get a custom song created by Blau with winner's creative direction, tokenized as one of one NFT, bonus limited edition physical vinyls, unreleased music unlockable on blau.com with your vinyl NFT, and all 11 songs from the Ultraviolet album made as NFTs for yourself there. And there's gold tier, silver tier, and finally we have the loyalty NFT, which would be like a bronze tier essentially. So a lot of different features that go along with tokenized access of his music. Obviously you have a situation here where if you hold the NFT and you are the winner, you get to actually, create a song with him. So there were these different kind of things at play, these different features at play. But really the big takeaway here is one, and most importantly, it's changing the way artists are going to be, paid, right? You're cutting out, first of all, there's no middleman here other than, I don't even think Origin Protocol, who kind of like, I guess he's utilizing and leveraging to run this auction. I'm not sure they took that much of a cut, if any. It's between the creator and the consumer here, right? There's not a big producer. There's not this big, production company that's behind it and all these different things. It's literally between Blau and his consumers and the value that he's creating. He captures completely up to, again, we talked about this, $11 million. So it's really changing the game for artists. Obviously, that's going to be, it might even be a situation we look back in time and say, this is where it changed. And you can kind of, I'm going to pull up Blau's Twitter here as well before I get comments from the group as well as Buffalo. But you know, that you have this tweet up on the screen here. We will give power back to the artists. That was certainly a popular tweet, and you can see why. It's taking an industry that's been predominantly, you know, preyed upon by the middlemen, where oftentimes you hear about broke artists who are creating all the value and receiving none of it. Now you have the situation where one artist is making $11 million.
Yeah. NFTs are like the opposite of what Napster did for the music industry, is finally giving the artists the full control that they deserve for the artwork that they're putting out. And the damn middlemen who ain't doing anything, getting 20% and take advantage of the artists, forcing them to go this way or that way because they know they're going to get, you know, their percentage in. I love it. I love to see it this like this. And what I love about Layer 1, I learned so much. I'm glad that you pronounced it because I didn't know that was Blau. I would be like, hey guys, musician 3 Lau.
I'm sure there's
learn something new every day.
I'm sure there's a lot. So I want to go through the gold edition as well, because this is going to make its way into sports. It's going to make its way into obviously the music industry, as we can see here. Blau's pretty much changing the game. But again, we might look back and say this was the moment it changed in the music industry, because once you have that Top Shot moment, once you have this Blau moment, other people start saying, you know, maybe I don't. And Blau's a big artist, but he's not the biggest. He's not an A-list artist. I'm sorry, Blau. I'm not talking any type of smack, but he's not an A-list. I'm talking about save me, Buffalo, because I'm absolutely drowning here. But he's not Lady Gaga.
I'm watching you.
He's not Kanye West. Please,
he goes with Gaga, man. Kanye.
Those are the artists where you're like, holy, like you could. So for to have Blau here, who's an amazing artist in and of himself, do something for $11 million. It's a lot like his. I'm assuming that it's his association with the crypto industry, with the Ethereum ecosystem, because you have bidders like Whale Shark getting involved and things like that. But definitely a moment to be remembered when it comes to the way NFTs, the way crypto, the way blockchain has changed the music game. So. Oh My Coins is asking, hey Buffalo, how should we pronounce Vive? Vive 3.
Viv 3. It's the follow-up from Viv 2.
So we have 50 of you in the house listening to apparently me talking a lot of shit about Blau, but absolutely love Blau. We need him on NFT Live. That's going to be awesome. And this is only going to be, to finish my point, before I started drowning in Buffalo, just watched me completely,
best lifeguard on duty.
That was like a scene from the Titanic. He just let me go.
Goodbye.
Yeah. So basically, if you take this moment where Blau is taking the initiative, he is one of the leaders, and he's getting rewarded for doing so, then you start seeing the bigger artists comes in. The like I mentioned, the Kanye West, the Gagas, the Biebers, all these guys that are going to come in and do things like this and set new records. But absolutely awesome. One thing I want to point out with this gold tier deluxe edition, it looks like in the platinum tier, the number one guy is going to be able to work with Blau to create a single. Well, if you got in gold tier, if you were bidders number 2 through 6, you also get to work with those bidders 2 through 6 with Blau. So custom mix created by Blau with created direction from the winners. So a lot of awesome things happening with NFTs, tokenized access to songs, NFT, audio, all these things are happening because you have innovators like Blau in this ecosystem. I could see this moving very quickly into sports and I think Josh Hart, who's been like a really big proponent of Top Shot, he's an NBA player himself. He was saying that if you bought one of a certain NFT, then you would get like courtside seats with his buddies. You would get an autographed jersey. That was not as formal maybe as creating a website and doing an auction, but it is almost the exact same thing that Blau is doing here. Although Blau went way past the point of what he needed to do, right? I'm sure he could have done a great auction and not had all of these awesome features, not had this layout. So I definitely commend him for doing that for sure. Need him on NFT Live soon.
Totally. And it's not just musicians, it's athletes as well, like Tommy Wilson, the pitcher from the Mets, right? Just leaning into the NFT space and seeing it right now. It's like people who saw the internet and realized that they could have a website that anybody in the world could learn about what they're doing. Well, now they have a website along with a project of NFTs where you can own a percentage, and it's a crowdfunding on crack kind of scenario here, which I love. Not crack, crowdfunding. That it's amazing. And I remember when I first started hearing about, I can't remember the first DJ that started his own token collection. It's kind of, there it goes. That's coming. Yeah, it's definitely one of those that I'm very curious to see the next big artist, that's a triple, or an A-lister, do this and see at this point. I was thinking this yesterday when I was watching some TV. When is the first NFT commercial coming out, or has it already come out? Top Shot is making so much money that they easily could put that out. I'm curious to see when there is a, broadcast commercial out there about the NFT space. It's coming. Or maybe it already has happened. If any of you guys have seen anything on commercials yet about NFT, let me know.
Definitely, man. And there's definitely a debate here about whether traditional media and advertisements are even necessary at this point. I mean, when you have kind of viral Twitter marketing, or they're on NBA and Shaq is talking about NBA Top Shot live while they're on a broadcast, it's like it's a crazy time. But definitely a great point being made there. A lot of Lohan. Lohan has made her way into layer one.
How dare you?
How dare you, Buffalo? There it is. We need the Greta.
Lohan, right? That's Lohan.
I think Lohan when she was like I believe like maybe 12. So
if there's a Greta NFT out there, you guys buy it. I'll buy it from you, and I'm giving it to Q.
There were jokes about fractionalizing Lohan. Mass Mage is talking about that right now. If there is a Greta NFT and it's legitimate, none of these, like, I just put this together in 10 seconds. If there's a Greta NFT, I will buy that unless I get outbid by Whale Shark. And outbid by Whale Shark, I'm going to end with this point here. Outbid by Whale Shark and the amount that they're spending here. The amount that a lot of these creators and a lot of these influencers or just people with general money via however they got it within the Ethereum ecosystem, they are literally defibrillating. And that's defibrillating is kind of saying that something, died and then came back to life. So they're just supercharging this industry and making it. There was no reason for Whale Shark to do what he did, right? Other than saying like, I want this. I have enough money to do so, and I'm going to do this. And now NFTs are being, hit on in the New York Times and all of these different publications, and it's because the amount of money that's moving around in this industry, and all of these guys like a Whale Shark, the people buying Beeple, these guys are just literally forcing an industry into existence with the amount of capital they have, and they're spending it, and it's getting eyes, and I commend them. I commend them for doing that. And then
it's massive.
It is massive, and then you have Logan Paul and Lindsay Lohan in here trying to take advantage, but don't say a damn word about my girl Lindsay Lohan. I will put that up as a physical piece in my house. I don't care what my girlfriend says about it. I'm putting it up.
I want to hear what she says. Is she a fan? Does she know you own that?
I don't know if she knows my nickname is Master Q either. I think she would probably laugh at that. Which it's starting to take on a life of its own. This episode's starting to take over a life of its own. Shout out to Blau. Shout out to everyone who was involved in this kind of sale, auction, what have you, this moment in NFT time. Really cool time to see in NFTs right now. So I will get on to the next story. Buff, if you have any comments you see that you want to hit on, please definitely let me know, and you can just get on them a little bit.
There was a ton, but they all start with that Lohan, so I was just going to move on. No, we got, I think right now I'm starting to see some really, what I love from you lads are showing up day in, day out. Appreciate you guys so much. Flint Savage, I remember seeing you 12 hours before NFT Live went live. You were the first comment. That is dedication, you guys. That was like a Black Friday event where you're sleeping out in the parking lot in line before we opened the show. So that is some dedication right now that for you guys that are in here long term, I appreciate you guys. It really lets us know, especially when we're getting the show ready, we go and look, and I usually do, and I look at the channel and see who's all waiting beforehand. I love that because, it's like, even if there's just one of you watching the show right now, the show goes on. We're going to do this whether or not there's all-time highs every week.
Love it. Absolutely. Thomas Erickson saying the entire Logan Paul Pokemon opening was an advertisement for crypto. Crypto ad shoutouts, NFTs. It looks like Easy saying, I think Britney Spears wanting to make NFTs. I think Blau might have mentioned that. A couple more Lohan comments. It'll be interesting to see what celebrities get in Clubhouse. there have been a couple comments where I've been in there and, been obviously a listener. I haven't been up on the panel with guys like Gary Vee and some of these like larger influencers making their way into NFTs. But these people are saying it's only going to be 2 or 3 weeks, a month before we start hearing these big time celebrities that obviously we can't say or they couldn't say on a Clubhouse stream or on a Clubhouse meeting. But they're saying these big names are already in the hopper. They're ready to go. It's just a matter of time before they're announced. So awesome stuff to come still yet with celebrities and NFTs, but none can replace my love for Lohan or my hate for our girl Greta here. It's going to be...
How dare you!
All right, so we have an old, and when I say old, I mean like a 24-hour old here article that's saying Bitcoin is tumbling to 43K, the lowest in 3 weeks. This stuff's already out of date. It's been 24 hours, if that, and this stuff is already completely out of date. Yeah, 12:34, so a little bit over 24 hours. And we're seeing a lot of commenting on why this is happening. Obviously, a pullback is needed. I think most people who are doing price predictions or macro predicting, they're going to say, hey, we needed a healthy pullback there. It's just crazy to see how quickly these pullbacks happen. And then, there's a shakeout maybe of leveraged positions, or there's just, soft hands that are kind of, breaking down a little bit there. But we're seeing a quick move back up within days from these kind of sharp falls. So I'm just going to take a couple comments from this article here. Bitcoin was down about 24% in 7 days through Sunday, the worst weekly performance since March 2020. Prices have declined on 6 of the past 7 days. And then we also have some other comments here. Latest retreats bring Bitcoin's gains in February to 31%. And then we have some comments from investment firm heads talking about how this was, needed. There's a lot of people out in the market right now that are figuring, hey, this is my time to kind of buy in, right? Or this was my time. I hate talking in, right now when past tense tells me I should be saying, hey, I need to comment along here with what the market's doing. And then we see it back up at 48K. So we can't talk about buying dips when the dip already happened. Good luck if you got in. But there were a ton of people that were trying to maybe buy at 45, maybe buy at 44, and that goes with the altcoins as well. It's tough to catch those knives there in that moment.
Greed. That's what's going to get you in a bull market.
100%.
And also, it's interesting too. I've definitely felt a lot of people in different groups saying like this is a lot of new investors panicking, not understanding that there are in a bull market like in 2017 when Bitcoin did what it did, it had 30% pullbacks and then would keep on going. And for some people to see a 30% loss on their investment, they're going to panic. And then for me, I keep going back to, okay, Elon jumped in. We have a lot of big investors in there right now. Is this really going to pull back to like 20 or even below? I can't fathom that. And that's scary because you always want to consider the worst case scenario. For me, a lot of my holds are long-term anyways, but like I said at the beginning of the show, I turned Blockfolio off. I think chart staring for me right now, it does no good. My biggest thing is research. I'm in research mode. So if y'all this month, like I said on the last layer one on Friday, I want to hear about some new projects, things that haven't come out yet that are trying to come out during this run right here. So March is going to be research month for me.
It's tough to kind of get that research driven kind of just like momentum, right? All you're doing is kind of like seeing projects that are already being built kind of profit off their time in the bear market a lot of times.
Right.
There's a lot of different projects that are popping up really quickly and profiting, but a lot of what we see today in price appreciation, those projects were building in the bear market, like Cardano, who is incredibly built out, a lot of dApps, all these usage. If you can't tell that I'm being a little bit facetious, that I am. So I don't know if Fishy's still got his short open, but I'm doing my part here. Okay, so again, I'm going to read some of these comments here. This is quick news, so we're going to run through it. This is still a dip buyer's market. This is Matt Blom, head of sales and trading for Equos. Profit taking has led to liquidations, which has led to more profit taking. 41,800 will be the first test. The next is 38. Never got there. And then we have some other comments. On the upside, a close above 45 will change the theme. 48,200 will be the first target to be chased down and back above 5K. So we are definitely in that realm here here with that kickback up at 48K. Sailor bought the dip, by the way. This was later on in the episode, I think. Do I even have it? You might have to fill in for me here with some comments, Buffalo, while I pull up MicroStrategy's buy. I don't know where I put that.
No problem. I can handle that. Fishy, my man, says start staring gave me some anxiety. I had to take some time away. Same thing, brother. That's what got me into Valheim. Like crypto 24/7, staring at your phone, refreshing every 5 seconds. Being in Telegram groups, hearing the FOMO or the FUD. It's not healthy, and especially for these plays, you got to give them some time to develop, and sometimes it's just good to research and not even think about moving money into the space, because it allows you to just kind of learn about projects you might not be interested in. And it's also just good to step back. Saturdays for me are the step back days from the whole space. I love LADZ City, but I gotta take a break. I usually go wander off into the desert, have myself a solo journey, eat some edibles, and talk to
Buffalo.
little floating monsters in the sky, and then I come on back the next day a changed man and ready to rock for the week. But I think it's good. This is kind of, it can really start pulling you. Plus, you start looking at other people's investments, and they start bragging about their returns. So you start trying to match your friends' returns, and then before you know it, you're all over the place, and it's not healthy in this space. The best thing you can do, and Flint Savage nailed it, you can hodl and watch NFT live or Layer 1 live.
Love that. We had some other comments come through that are along those lines that Buffalo's talking right now, but I did have the MicroStrategy post here. MicroStrategy acquires additional 15 million in Bitcoin at average price of 45K. He did get in relatively early, and when I say he, I mean Michael Saylor. So he's obviously been the CEO of MicroStrategy here. He's been a huge proponent of Bitcoin here, a huge bull on Bitcoin. We see some more like large investment firms getting in and kind of taking up the flag here, and they have prominent positions in traditional finance. So it's definitely good to see them do so. I believe MicroStrategy's like dollar cost averaging here is around 23, because I know they bought at like 14. I remember they bought some. I don't know if the guys have any information, the lads have any information that they could get, but they bought in early, and then I think they had bought a little bit of the top, but they just consistently are buying up a large piece of Bitcoin here over the last, I would say, year. So definitely good on Michael Saylor. I'm going to pull up this CoinDesk article here that goes over some interesting points. The business intelligence firm MicroStrategy announced it purchased an additional 328 BTC. That's about 15 million in cash. The business intelligence, so MicroStrategy's latest investment comes less than a week after it spent over $1 billion on BTC. To date, MicroStrategy holds about 90,859 BTC with there it is, average purchase price of 24K. The total is worth about 4.3 billion. So his that average price there makes it almost a 2x investment there. Congrats to these guys. They're consistently putting their money where their mouth is. Michael Saylor's been, like I said, a huge bull. Great to have him in the ecosystem, kind of pushing Bitcoin adoption here. But this is a question I have for you, Buff, and it's a question I have for the lads too. What amount of interest right now in crypto is Bitcoin mainstream adoption? Like, I feel like that was the huge thing in 2017. We saw ICOs, but right now it feels like a lot of DeFi, a lot of NFT coverage with getting people into crypto, maybe gaming, sports, all these different things. How much of it is people just like getting into Bitcoin? That seems like it's on the back burner now.
So I work over at Microsoft doing a lot of corporate stuff throughout the week. And the last couple of weeks I've had people who've never talked crypto to me come up to me. And it wasn't about Bitcoin. It was about NFTs. And one guy was like, man, that NFT show you're doing, are you still doing it? I'm like, of course. He's like, dude, you were onto it, man. You saw it before everyone else. I was like, take it easy, first of all. But yes, you're right. And NFTs, like, I was shocked. I was thinking, of course, a lot of people who haven't looked into crypto at all, Bitcoin is going to be the most familiar thing. But we are like moth to flame. We go for whatever's hot right now, whatever's bright, NFTs, DeFi, a lot of these really high value kind of returns. Bitcoin's getting to a number, and everyone has done this since you got into crypto, right? You look at Bitcoin, I want to own just one Bitcoin. You start going, okay, now I need 48,000 to own one. And that's where a lot of people, when they move into space, that's what they do. They have trouble fractionalizing it. They can't see it as 8 decimal points and a lot of that. So they get intimidated by it. And they look for these Dogecoin type lower cap markets that they're like, oh man, I can get into these smaller prices. And it's something that I think the smart money is going to understand a safe investment with Bitcoin and kind of long-term play. And I look at it as Bitcoin as a savings bank. For me, it's kind of ever since I got into the space, dollar cost average into that. But you're right. It definitely has shifted as Bitcoin has kind of broken through the all-time high, where now they're looking at what's really going crazy in the whole blockchain space.
Yeah, we had those are great comments, Buff. I think you're spot on. We had Orlando kind of come through and ask about, I believe, Saylor's thesis on Bitcoin as economic energy. I'm looking through some of his tweets. I got him pulled up here. He's talking about obviously Bitcoin being a better version of gold. I would agree with that, but I'm having a hard time finding the actual economic energy piece and thesis. But as far as being like a better gold, maybe a more efficient gold, Bitcoin still uses a ton of energy. Don't let that escape you. I think Bitcoin mining is definitely not in the news, but it would definitely be so if we didn't have all this movement in NFTs and all kind of more user-facing things. But Bitcoin mining is still very profitable, but it is a very energy-intensive process there. So Ethereum mining the same way. So I don't necessarily agree. Now, I didn't see the entire kind of thesis kind of laid out in front of me, but from not an energy-intensive point of view, it's still fairly energy-intensive. And that's honestly one of the biggest there's not many negative stances that kind of, or I guess opposite stances that someone could actually buy into that's in the crypto space, but that is one of them. We need to figure that out. We need to figure out the miner rewards in 21. I believe it's 2100. Correct me if I'm wrong. When the last miner rewards go out. But what's going to be the incentive to mine at that point when Bitcoin mining rewards stop? Therefore, the transactions need to be pushed through. I'm sure by 2100 we'll figure something out in crypto.
We got time.
nor do I think. Yeah, exactly. Maybe we figure out longevity at that point, so we might still be doing Layer 1 Live, Buffalo.
Oh, dear God. I hope not, for my sake. I'm way too tall to live that long.
Awesome. All right, guys, we went down a little bit of a rabbit hole. If anyone has more information on Saylor's kind of energy or Bitcoin energy thesis, definitely let us know. That's what the comment section and that's what the chat box is there for, the live chat, if you will. We will get on to the next piece of news. We are absolutely not flying through this quick news piece, so I'm going to pick it up. We talked about Tether last week. It looks like Tether is getting extorted for 24 million. Again, a lot of these stories are going under the radar, but I feel like this would be a bigger story in the bear market. Somebody came out and basically was this is an anonymous person. We don't know who this is, but they actually dropped their address. This is from Tether's Twitter profile here. Today we received a ransom demand for 500 BTC to be sent to, and then they gave the address. The sender said that unless they receive the BTC by tomorrow, they will leak documents to the public in an effort to harm the Bitcoin ecosystem. So we basically have a story here where Tether is getting extorted, and they said they aren't having it.
Yeah. We don't negotiate terrorism.
There you go. I appreciate Southern Buffalo coming on the stream for a little bit. All right, I'm moving on to the next story. Again, this is quick news. We're going to try to do what we can. It looks like monthly crypto exchange volumes hit 1 trillion for the first time in a month. That is in February. We hit 1 trillion in total, I'm sure, aggregated volume across all exchanges. Most of this came from Binance. So as of February 27th, the monthly volume figure stood at 1.05 trillion. That represents an increase of 143 billion, or to be easier, 15.9% from January. So an increase in that volume. 2/3 of the $1 trillion volume comes from Binance, with 10.6 from Coinbase and 5.3 from Kraken, and then the rest obviously played out amongst the quote-unquote smaller exchanges. CZ's winning, man. CZ can continuously win with that volume, especially from the retail side. So definitely interesting to see there. I'm not going to touch on what actually happened. I don't know if you saw this, Buff. I'm not going to pull it up on screen. I'm not going to, really be direct with this. But there was a meta attack on BSC, Binance Smart Chain. Basically, and I think there were some people in the Ethereum ecosystem that were saying, how can we get at CZ? Binance has taken a bunch of news in the industry. They've taken a lot of, we see Ethereum dApps moving to BSC, all this stuff. And the biggest debate or the biggest discussion to be had around BSC is the lack of decentralization. So the meta attack works something like this. Someone created these, I'm struggling to put the obscene DApp accounts. They had a Twitter profile, they had a website. It was something dot finance, right? And they were obscene basically in a racial and historical perspective. There were multiple ones of these. And basically the game here that they were playing was, let's try to force CZ's hand. I don't know if anyone else saw this, but it is an interesting story. I'm just not going to go into it. But they basically were trying to force CZ's hand to get CZ to take it down. And therefore, they could come back and say, guess what? BSC's centralized. So it was an interesting meta play. I'm not going to go into it because I don't want to give any time to those people. But it was an exciting attack. I'm trying to think of another word than interesting, guys, on the fly. So it was an interesting attack on CZ there.
Oh man, it's the beginning of chain-on-chain warfare.
Truth. Very good comment there. Okay, so we are going to move on. Really quick piece of news here. I'm going to fly through this. Japan's, and correct me if I'm saying this wrong, Rakuten makes it easier to spend Bitcoin. Basically, Rakuten is a Amazon for the Japanese market, for the Asian market, although I think it's specifically Japanese because Chinese has Taobao, or I believe. So the Rakuten wallet is going to allow you to transfer cryptocurrency seamlessly into their Rakuten Cash and then use it on their various apps. So this is kind of the Amazon of Japan, and they're saying, hey, you can actually use crypto, seamlessly change that into their Rakuten Cash, their electronic cash, and then use that on the platform. So interesting stuff. I need to open my thesaurus right now because I can feel myself. I need electrifying, I need interesting, I need exciting. So, all right. So that is Japan's Rakuten. I've got Coinbase's. We touched on this. Coinbase is going to be in the news for a little while here as they get ready for IPO. But based on this IPO and the projected, shareholdings and the projected price and all these things, makes Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong one of the 500 richest people in the entire world with a net worth between 7 and 15 billion. So, congrats there to Brian Armstrong. And then we have Kraken, one of the leading exchanges in the U.S., but also outside of it. Crypto exchange operator Kraken reportedly seeking to rake in new cash from a raise that could value the firm above $10 billion. So it looks like they're starting another raise here for their exchange. It says on Thursday, Kraken's rival Coinbase obviously filed for their S1. And then the filing offers insight in the growth of crypto exchanges, business units, and the back of Bitcoin's price rally over the past year. So basically, with these companies looking to raise money, more information about the underbelly or behind the scenes of what these exchanges are doing are confirming that Bitcoin is basically having this massive bull run. So a lot of very, very good news for BTC these days.
Up and away.
So I saw some comments. Apparently, some people thought that was a God. I'm going to, if I can't think of another thing other than interesting right now, tantalizing. Thank you. Thought provoking. So I'm going with tantalizing here. A lot of people were thinking that story was tantalizing and Expo. I don't know if Vibrant works, but there are some comments based on the story that I was talking about with Binance Smart Chain. It's a tantalizing piece. I mean, there's people that are playing some interesting games, god dang it, with CZ. So there were a lot of I guess regular discussions being had about the decentralization, but those people decided to take it to the next level when it comes to that. Buff, I'm going to throw this your way. I know we're in IRL. Yeah, dodge this one if you can. Ethereum sentiment seems to be changing a little bit. I'm going to throw this out to the lads as well. We saw that dip down to about 1,400, a little bit less. I got to go back and check. But I do wonder if the sentiment isn't changing with the gas fees, with an extended gas fee dilemma here, if that's not changing for Ethereum. And that's maybe why we saw that harsh pullback. It was at one point, it was like down 36% in a 7-day period, that being Ethereum.
What happens is you get a lot of people excited about what's to come. And then as they see the price starting going, everybody's like, yeah, yeah. And then they realize nothing's going to happen. And you're all sitting at a party when there's no music being played. And they're all waiting for this change to happen. And all we're hearing about is the gas prices still staying the way that they are. So I see it, right? Until 2.0 comes out, until they can shift this, yeah, it's going to be hold for them to hold the value that they got. But at the same time, I mean, it's coming up a little bit. Maybe, maybe not. But yeah, that's where I feel like nothing's changed from a couple months ago in the sense of how the structure of Ethereum is working with the gas fees, but it definitely got a pretty heavy pullback. And when I saw that too, I was shocked. I was like, whoa, okay. But at the same time, I go, it does kind of make sense because as you look at all these other chains that can do what they need to do to scale right now and not run into these issues, time is what Ethereum really needs to speed up that process and make that happen. But who knows when that's going to happen.
We saw a lot of money go into those staking pools on Ethereum 2.0. Obviously, a lot of ETH is locked up, but we also have the idea that there's going to be some continuous inflation with ETH. I'm going to throw this out. I think we should stay on this for at least another minute and kind of throw this out to the lads. What is your thought process on ETH right now with this extended? I got to see what Gwei is at right now, but with this extended, I guess I use the term dilemma with gas fees, where the more ETH is adopted, the harder it gets to use. I'm going to throw this out to you guys. We'll stick on it for another minute, and then we'll move on to NFTs and to DeFi. Shout out to Tomika is saying, where's my lads at? We are here. Overman saying, interesting is your catchphrase. Just roll with it. I might have to do that. David has a tantalizing take here. I like the attack to put the CFI aspect in people's faces. It is needed, I guess. We'll monitor that story and see what CZ actually ends up doing. And then Versha saying, hello, lads. It is nice to see everybody in the house. Of course, we have right now 63 of you guys in the house. So Layer 1 Live, bringing you the latest in crypto news. Happy to have the lads along with us. So what comments are you seeing, Buff?
Well, Carrots, and I hope I'm saying that username right. Yeah, sweet.
How did you know that was Carrots? That looks nothing like Carrots.
Sometimes you just get the vibe because he's in the tribe. Never been more bullish on Ethereum personally, but I don't mind the low prices. I mean, if you're got a little pullback and that's one of your projects, right? That's Christmas came early this year for you.
I think, we have China in the house, or China is in the house. In my humble opinion, Ethereum is for large, secure purchases that will be forever on chain, not for gaming or market transactions. That seems to be the constant narrative pushed when it comes to NFTs, when it comes to gaming, that Ethereum will be a vault for higher value, low volume transactions, where you'll go to chains like maybe Flow or Wax, where all of these microtransactions need to take place. You see any other comments?
Yeah, Fishy says Ethereum 2.0 needs to happen soon. That's that word, soon. That word has haunted me on a lot of projects that I follow, where you'll see in the Telegram, soon, a couple days. A lot of roadmaps aren't even happening anymore because of the pressure of a lot of these projects. And I get it. This is new. A lot of things are happening where they don't want to release something until it works 100%. But damn, that word soon drives me nuts.
Awesome comments coming in. Buff, do you want to let that off your chest before we get to some of these comments? It sounds like
I'm trying. Yeah, it's getting to me. I had to say it too many times.
All right. Flint Savage is saying ETH tanks. I'll be broke. Hodl to the end. That is one of the biggest things ETH has going for it. This the community and network effect that ETH has is its selling point, is its narrative. So there's definitely a ton of hodlers within the ETH community. Orlando saying Layer 2 solutions like Matic, who's rebranded most recently to Polygon, and more, starting to solve these gassy issues. Yep, they're doing well. I mean, we talked about Quick earlier in the episode, which is, and I do own Quick, so I am shilling this a little bit. But we see that a lot of Layer 2 solutions, and QuickSwap being the Uniswap of the Polygon network, we see them picking up in total value locked. There's a lot of different aspects to this. We're going to talk about DYDX later in the episode, but they launched their own Layer 2 solution as well. And this is going to be a constant thing that we're going to see until, like Buffalo pointed out, until we see Ethereum 2.0 at least get some type of deadline where people can actually lock in a project roadmap alongside it. So I've got QuickSwap here. We got the total liquidity. That's the main thing I'm focused on. Obviously, the price has done really well over the past month, But the total value lock, the total liquidity is important. And we see just a ton of money moving out of Ethereum into layer 2s and things that are built on top of that network. So, and let's be honest, if layer 2 by design is built on top of Ethereum. So it's not necessarily the end days for Ethereum whatsoever. I don't think anyone's saying that. When you have more layer 2s built on top of Ethereum, they do end up, like Choina was pointing out, coming back and maybe having the higher value transactions be secured by the Ethereum network. So it looks like Left House is saying I'm in on the giveaway. I did do a quick giveaway for Quick. We did have 2 winners though, guys. I did like a quick kind of shill of Quick saying, hey, it's shown me a lot of different things, which it has. People who were in on that ghost migration definitely got and took advantage of what was happening with QuickSwap more so than they would have. But I did that giveaway and we found 2 winners already. So unfortunate, Left House, we did see a lot of that, and we already saw the winners happen. So that is where we're at. I think we are going to move into NFTs now. So we are about an hour into the episode. We need to wrap up relatively quickly here over the next probably 20 minutes, but it's great to see the comments, Buff. I don't know if you see any more, but that got a lot of hits. Asmodai, go ahead.
Sorry, there is one that was way up there we missed. Master Mage YT said that his granny was the only one of his family that invested in crypto. I want to meet your granny. That is a killer granny right now. Grannies in crypto is just never heard of. I love it because a lot of people in my family think I'm in some kind of Ponzi scheme, or I honestly haven't talked to many of them about it. At one point, I was going to buy each one of them a Bitcoin, and this was a couple years ago, and I thought, oh, this would be so good. And then I realized they would sell that in a heartbeat. They wouldn't understand it. They wouldn't get too involved in it. Of course, that's a lot of assuming, but at the same time, like, family's a tough one to really get on this along with close friends. It's almost like they're at the point where they're embarrassed that they haven't looked into it at this point. So they almost put up defenses. And there's somebody at work that I work with that literally doesn't want me to even talk about crypto around her. And I feel like it's just ignorant at this point, to not even look into it yourself or understand it. You're going to be so late to the game. And again, it doesn't necessarily mean they have to be an investor, right? It's just something that, it's tricky with people. We all have emotions and feelings, and people get butthurt when they didn't get into something and see that you're benefiting from it. So it's tricky with family too. Don't get me started.
Yeah, money is an interesting mistress, and she definitely has a hold on a lot of people. So we are going to get to the rest of the episode here. We're going to touch on NFTs. A lot has been happening. Like I said earlier in the episode, DeFi had its run back in the summertime, and that was an amazing, like up until about, I would say, December, November timeframe, it was all DeFi. We couldn't cover DeFi enough on Layer 1 Live and just basically on Twitter. Now it feels like that's where NFTs are. NFTs are just taking up the lion's share of what's going on within the crypto industry right now. And so that's basically how the episodes go. We're kind of flowing where the sentiment is and where the narrative is right now. It's all NFTs. So we're going to hit on that. Expo is asking who won the giveaway. Definitely go out and check on that tweet. I posted the winners. Easy saying, I need to pull my Ghost Quick Stake so I can get my portals. Oh, the Haunt is launched. So Avagachi is going live relatively quickly here over the next 24 hours. Choin is saying anyone in Avagachi was smart to move assets to Polygon as soon as the migration announcement was made. So a lot of great comments. That's the best part of the episode when you guys are really coming through there. I'm going to move on now. So we're going to move into NFTs, and we're going to start with Euler Beats. Speaking of something that if you didn't know the actual name that you would say correctly, but that is apparently how you say it. Euler Beats is, and I'm going to read directly from the article here and from their website, Euler Beats are brief audio tracks paired with artworks. They were named after legendary mathematician Leonhard Euler. Their tracks and artworks were both generated using Euler's pi function, or phi function, a mathematical function that involves prime numbers. So here's what we got. We basically, like it was just saying, we have artworks paired up with audio tracks. The interesting point here is that the first, I believe, 27 are unique. So there are only 27 unique Euler Beat LPs in existence, meaning everyone who's doing this afterwards is getting not the mint number 1, but the mint 2 and all these things. So there are only 27 unique Euler Beat LPs in existence, with each initially priced at 0.271 ETH, about $400. At the same time, other users can mint and create them on the blockchain and buy prints of them. The thing is, and this is why this story is generating a lot of hype, is that generation actually goes back to the people who originally owned the first artwork. So if, out of the 27, if you wanted, maybe you liked the artwork, or maybe you like the audio on a specific one, if you mint that, it costs a certain amount, and some of that goes back into royalty fees. Okay? The 27 people who were in on this project, I don't know who owns which ones, $1.1 million in royalties from these minting processes out of a 0.27 ETH purchase. That's the story here. 27 pieces have generated 1.1 on a bonding curve, essentially. So everyone who is trying to get in because they think this is the next CryptoPunks, or thinks this is the next Hashmask, they have to pay a fee to the original 27 owners, and that's generated $1.1 million. Mark Cuban was on Bankless. He was talking about Euler Beats, saying it's the most genius idea ever. That's a little bit of a stretch. It's basically a bonding curve, but it is really cool to see that combination of audio and the artwork piece. And when I say it's a bonding curve, it gets more expensive, like the Hashmask craze, right? It gets more expensive the more people that buy it. And then that value goes back into the original people that were buying it originally.
I'm really interested with audio NFTs. I haven't looked into it that much. I just played one real quick on this. So these are just essentially just generic beats, or what is the actual utility behind this?
It's not much utility, right? You're talking about I guess from an aesthetic and collector's piece, it's because they were actually created, they were actually generated using this like algorithmic method, right? So their tracks and artworks were both generated using Euler's phi function, a mathematical function that involves prime numbers. So it was automatically generated, or with this process it was generated, and then you got the bonding curve, man. So like, what is a Hashmask? When we bought the Hashmask at 0.4 ETH, there wasn't really a utility there. It was just the people that came in a day or 8 hours after I did had to pay more. And that's essentially the craze that's happening with NFTs right now. So that's kind of the thing. I mean, that's the NFT space right now. A lot of the money that's flying around, someone could turn around and say, what's actually happening here? Why are people paying, at this point, I'm sure, and we might be able to go to their website and see what these are going for. So current print costs 30 ETH. So whatever that actually goes for, it looks like there's only going to be a certain amount ever, and the actual print costing is going up, as they go. But that's kind of the story there, man. I know it's tough for people to get their mind around why people are spending so much on something like a FLOW NFT when $3 million for a collectible is an amazing amount of money for a single item. But that's kind of the market right now. It's a market for whales. I think that's what someone mentioned.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to go back to one comment because I didn't get to it before we moved on. It was referencing the Titanic. I don't know if you saw it. I forgot who actually talked about it, but it was a great analogy.
David Elvion says ETH is like the Titanic now. Millionaires still dancing, lower decks running off like hell.
Amazing analogy. That is exactly what's happening. It's a whale game that basically anyone with less than an ETH or 2 ETH or even 10 ETH, this is a whales game. Euler Beats being one of them. This is people are having fun if they're whales, essentially. Not saying that you can't if you are trying to be in the ETH ecosystem with less than 10 ETH, less than 20 ETH, but it's significantly harder to do so than it is with a lot of these whales who are paying an absorbent amount to own a single asset.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
awesome comment. Go ahead.
In that scenario, David, I want to be part of the band playing my violin all the way down to the bottom of the ocean.
All right, so it looks like Asmodai saying a couple of lads jumped in on the Euler Beats, so I'd love to get more comments either in Lad City after this in our Discord, or if you guys want to comment along and let us know if you got in and what your experience has been. But a lot of these, if you got one of the original prints, great for you, and then if you aren't and you got in even afterwards, you're getting those royalties. So awesome to see. All right, this will be very quick. The Sandbox is continuing their land sales here. So Sandbox made another $1 million from their land sales. We also had Sebastian Bourget tweeting out something. So I'll kind of go through here. Congrats to our the Sandbox community. We just set another record. So it looks like they had about 3 million in USD alone kind of sold there in February. But he did also have another tweet that I want to touch on. It looks like there's a specific announcement that's happening soon. I'm just going to pull it up on my screen. All he's saying is they're coming, the NFTs, coming soon to the Sandbox Game Maker Marketplace, and it also has an accompanying picture. All right, speaking of, NFT sales, Fewocious, you can't really mention NFTs without her or him at this point. The Fewocious and RTFK sneaker drop generated 3 million. All 3 editions sold out at $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 levels. Buyers get the digital art piece as well as a pair of sneakers if they still own it by April 10th. So if you are a whale and you're listening to this right now, you can go out to OpenSea, you can go out to all these marketplaces and figure out how you can get your hands here on this piece. And then you can get the accompanying.
Few is awesome. I mean, when Ronan had Few on for the artist series, I think it was like in September, October, I knew right away that he just the passion and it's just so well deserved everything that's coming to him. And one thing that's I hope his family's like supporting him in what he's been doing, because it's just like, I hope it's not a lonely journey on that end. I know that, I mean, with the tribe that he's kind of got nowadays, it's just awesome. Couldn't have gone to somebody better. Great attitude. That interview, I was just like, man, those are the artists that I want to see blow up more. And so good on them.
Absolutely. So again, just going through that story real quick. If you own this, and we saw a lot of prominent Twitter personalities and that's kind of where Fewocious has gotten after it is on Twitter, right? He's definitely done a great job building his brand there. So we saw a lot of Twitter personalities show that they were buying it. I know Roham, CEO of Flow, was saying he bought one of each. So again, the digital physical aspect of this is one of my favorite things that's going to happen to the NFT space. I think physical goods are one of my favorite things that will ever exist ever. The ability to have something in the metaverse in our digital lives as well as the physical world, essentially. So really cool stuff. Fewocious, there's not much you can say other than he's absolutely killing it these days, and a great comment there. I think he is having a great time with the friends that he's made over the past, I would say 6 months here. I see him all over the place, kind of doing podcasts or connecting with individuals. So really cool stuff. All right, we can't talk about the NFT ecosystem again without Fewocious and without a little bit of flow. So these are 2 specific stories. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on them, but this is from the Flow blockchain's Twitter. In parallel to the incredible momentum with NBA Top Shot, Flow ecosystem is getting more vibrant than ever. Hundreds of developers and teams have already started building on Flow. Can't wait to see their project launching on mainnet soon, with the accompanying pictures of testnet developer requests as well as testnet unique users. So we've built up Flow over the last forever. The last since we heard about it back a year ago when they started development, and up until now, it's already been about NBA Top Shot. It's been about potentially, you've heard a little bit about UFC, but there are a lot of indie teams, a lot of different developers, a lot of these things that aren't developed by Flow that are going to come into the ecosystem. And we're not even talking about, NBA Top Shot at that point. We're talking about an Ethereum-like moment for NFTs where you have this large network effect. And that's only going to be a boon for that ecosystem. It's going to be awesome. So, you got any thoughts on that, Buff? Any flow thoughts?
Shoulda, woulda, coulda. I wish I could have bought when it first went on sale because we were around like $6. But me being in Washington State, I couldn't do it and had to rely on other lads and didn't want to have those lads, running my accounts day in, day out because I couldn't make up my mind on how heavy I was going to go and how I was going to do it at the time. Now, like Mr. Bean in that GIF, I'm
Yeah, that's great.
I'm waiting. Actually, I believe now Washington State just got a week or two ago. Binance US allowed us. It's so weird how some of the states weren't allowed to use Binance US yet, but apparently I need to get that set up and get in on some of that flow action.
Absolutely. I think we did have a comment that we'll get to here in a second, but the last piece I'll talk to you about as far as the Flow blockchain is concerned is a Twitter post from Roham. And there is it's basically around a picture. He's quote tweeting a picture and a question from an individual. So the picture is, I guess, on the NHL network, and it's saying, will NBA Top Shot come to the NHL? Which I think is a weird question because NBA Top Shot wouldn't come to the NHL. It would be its own application. You wouldn't have like NHL players.
NBA on the ice.
Yeah.
I'll watch that.
But we do have the comment here from the Twitter individual saying, Roham, can you answer this question? I hear discussions are ongoing. Will Top Shot or some type of app within Flow come to the NHL? And then we have Roham here saying, no comment. So that's where we'll end that discussion. Awesome to hear from Roham, even in these small little pieces there that we have. So maybe we have the NHL coming to Flow as well.
Orlando says, Q, I don't know anyone who is passionate about flow than you, brother. I am a flow believer now. Yeah, he's definitely getting those flow tattoos for sure.
All right, so Ryan Charleston is saying, check out Ape in Finance on Twitter. Pretty cool NFT and game project coming here. I guess he can't. Drop into LADZ.city, LADZ.city. If you put that in your browser, it takes you right to our Discord community. Drop that in our Discord community. I'd love to get the link, potentially an initiate or once you come in, just drop it right where you can, and we might be able to pull it up on screen. Agreed with Orlando. I love me some flow. Flint Savage is saying, saw some NFTs sold on Stellar Network the other day. Anyone see that? Be nice to have them sold there. And then Troy is saying NHL Slapshot. That's a good word there. I love that.
I think that, yeah.
Overman's coming through with NHL Touchdown. That's going to give Slapshot a run for the money. And then Mass Mage comes in saying, how do you feel about liquidity mining? Is it even worth the risk of impermanent loss? It really depends on which way the impermanent loss goes, right? There are definitely people that want to get their hands on ETH if the impermanent loss, they lose a certain token or something like that. I guess you really just want to find a project that you're interested in. That's my biggest thing with adding liquidity. So you're looking at the rewards, obviously the objective rewards that you're receiving. If you get a ton of rewards and it's an under the radar project, there is no reason not to get into liquidity mining. I'll give an example. When Avagachi bridged to the Matic network at the time, they offered some really good rewards that you objectively, if you could get in on it, that's what you want to do because they offer it for a certain amount of window. I think LADZ did that initially as well, where we had windows in phase 1 and 2 where the rewards were extremely high for even a short-term time frame. Whereas when you go into like long-term, you really have to think about, okay, what are the rewards I'm getting maybe outside of the liquidity mining, things like that, where we're like offering, different NFTs to LADZ miners. We're offering different utility to LADZ miners. That's kind of how I look at it. You really, if you're in the long term, you have to look at things that will offset the impermanent loss if that goes a certain way, and then you have to be into a project that you're interested in and see the importance of that liquidity mining that you're doing for that project. So I think it's a case-by-case basis, but one, objectively look at the rewards you're getting. There's a lot of really great returns that you can get. And then long-term, do I want to be in this project and do I like the ethos and all that stuff? So that's kind of my answer. I don't know if Buff has anything. Again, not investment advice. That's kind of
The only pool I've been in is the LADZ pool, but you nailed it, man. You really, with a liquidity pool like that, you want to believe in that project through and through.
Awesome, man. Yeah, we're going to be doing some awesome things, and we already have been, but we got some awesome plans as a team, and where we'll go for the LADZ network and Layer 1 network that we're handling right now. All right, so I am flying through this. If you have any other comments, please drop them in the chat. If we didn't touch on anything, just like I believe Ryan was touching on with Ape and Finance, drop them in the chat, and then we'll get to them. Otherwise, we're going to cover very briefly some DeFi things that were happening. Again, NFTs are completely overshadowing the DeFi space right now. But it looks like we had an exploit coming via Aave version 2. Fury Combo, a drag and drop tool for users to create DeFi transaction, has been exploited. It looks like this exploiter had stolen roughly about 14 million ETH, and I believe it was talking to Fury Combo and tricked the contract. Or it looks like the exploiter used a fake contract to trick Fury Combo into thinking that Aave version 2 had a new implementation, and used this contract to transfer all approved tokens from Fury Combo into their wallet. So this is an interesting exploit, because a lot of the ones that we're talking about usually have to do with some type of flash loan. This was basically taking the logic that the contract was based, or whatever the contract was based on, and saying, I'm gonna trick this into believing something else is happening, and therefore getting access to the tokens. So we have a tweet from Fury Combo here. We could probably read it out. Today at 4:47 p.m., the Fury Combo, or 4:47 UTC, the Fury Combo proxy was compromised by an attacker. We have deauthorized the relevant components and believe the vulnerability to be patched, but we recommend users remove approvals out of abundance of caution. So hopefully, that was 2 days ago. Hopefully we get some more updates out of that. You see any comments coming through, Buff, as I move on?
Shout out to Flint Savage and his mom, man. I'm jealous of you guys and your family members, especially grandmas and mothers that are in crypto or looking to buy the dip and setting a limit order. That's unheard of to me, man. I think it's amazing to hear that. And yeah, give your mom a hug next time you see her for the Buffalo, man. That's awesome.
Awesome. Okay, Mass Major saying, okay, thanks for the feedback. Definitely, man. I think, just again in summary, you want to find ways that you can offset impermanent loss in any way, whether that be from rewards or different utilities. David is saying, mind blown. That stuff. Is it even possible? If you want to see innovation, it's coming from DeFi. That's one of the really cool things that we'll see from NFTs as DeFi moves its way into NFTs, where you're getting the financialization there. Nobody innovates like DeFi. They do an absolutely great job. Those teams are awesome. All right, so a couple of the last stories here. Grayscale, as we always knew, the thesis was, the big institutions will get into Bitcoin first, and then they'll get into Ethereum, and then they'll move their way down. Well, that's what we have. We have Grayscale Investments announcing exploration of new investment products. So this is the new Coinbase listing, and we have a list of digital assets here that Grayscale is looking to have their constituents and have their investors get exposure to. As you can see, there's a lot on this list. Aave, looks like Cardano, Sushi. I'm getting a little upset. I continuously see Charles Hoskinson everywhere, and I need to not see ADA
Hater
everywhere. Yeah, everywhere I am. Well, have something that is actually functioning. Sorry, I'm not gonna get into there. We got EOS. We got Flow. Oh, Flow made the list. Here we go.
Oh, now he's up again.
I'm here. Well, it's funny what'll happen when you actually make something that thousands of users want to use and you pump a lot of volume into. Synthetics, Wiren. So really cool stuff that Grayscale is moving into, getting exposure to these assets. That was kind of the thesis as we go along. And then not much this came last week, but I definitely wanted to cover it. It looks like DYDX is moving to layer 2, or did move to layer 2, and is moving most of their platform there onto this new layer 2. So we are extremely excited to announce that our new cross-margin perpetuals are now live on layer 2, a milestone for both DYDX and the broader Ethereum ecosystem. If you're interested in DeFi, or you've been in this ecosystem, Starkware and DYDX are big movers and big players there. And to see this go to layer 2, I mean, we already kind of touched on this earlier in the episode, but that's where everybody is moving, whether that be through their own, like we're seeing here, or they're moving to other, structures that are already being created, like a Matic or a QuickSwap. Starkware uses zero knowledge proofs, or what they call ZK Starks technology to form a ZK rollup. So zero knowledge trading and all of these different things is a rabbit hole in and of itself. I'm not going to get into it, but it's interesting to see a big player like DYDX announce that they're kind of moving in this direction. So it looks like we have a comment here that says Layer 2 live. I don't know if that is ever going to come to fruition, but we will keep you guys updated.
I like it.
Awesome episode today, guys. You killed the comment section. I think we had a lot of great comments on Ethereum. We had a lot of great comments throughout the episode that was talking about NFTs, and we touched on DeFi really quick here. As DeFi has more information or more news, we definitely will up how large that section is, and we'll continuously be bringing you guys the best from around the industry. So XPOS coming through again with another Layer 2 comment. We might have to upgrade. We might have to migrate ourselves, Buff. Who knows?
Yeah. There could be a show Layer 1 live, and then later in the week, Layer 2 live. Cover both.
Layer 2s for social tokens might be a thing as well. I know we kind of already interact with some Layer 2s in the background with like via Tipbot and via some other things like an off-chain with Roll. But that's one thing that's not being talked about, which is social tokens, and the gas fees effect on kind of the velocity of social tokens as well. So, all right, awesome episode. Great comments. As I said, I will get to the rewards here and drop them in the live chat. Not in LADZ City today, in the YouTube live chat. Great to see everybody here. I guess I'll let Buffalo hit on the last LADZ portion here as I get that reward link set up. But we will get on out of here, man. It's been about an hour and a half. Thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah, as always, you can now go to your browser, type in lads.city, boom, bring you to the front gates of LADZ City on our Discord. Ken's asking, do you guys have a schedule when you're streaming? There is a content schedule on the left, right below. I believe that's in the community entry channel there, right on the left. And those are all on the different time zones, so you can choose what time zone you're in, and it will calculate for you. I believe Llama and Q set that one up to help everybody. Eventually, we'll get on UTC time. If you're brand new here, this is Layer 1 Live that you're watching today on Monday. We also do this show on Fridays. Wednesdays are NFT Live. Thursday is Easy Street in the Discord, which is an audio show, just like a radio broadcast that brings in great interviews. And then on Fridays, we've got Layer 1 Live along with LADZ Radio, which I host, which is music, along with great crypto auctions and giveaways of LADZ tokens, along with other social tokens. I was throwing out whale tokens last week. I bet you some of you who got a whole whale token from me is probably pretty happy about that one. And then we also have LADZ Game Night later on Friday. And then Saturdays will be LADZ Poker every other week. And there'll be many other shows we've got in the works right now, along with some new redesigns for the show you're watching right now and for NFT Live. So stay tuned, you guys. And as always, come back and visit us in LADZ City, which just go to your browser, lads.city.
Awesome. All right, I've got the link coming, guys. I've got Shep at my feet. Maybe he can make an appearance. Let's see if I can catch him. Shep.
Doji.
Come here. All right. Let me see if I can get him into the screen. Shep, make your appearance. I will drop the rewards link, guys. This isn't me stalling for time. Shep, say something, dude. No? Okay. Well,
Buy Doge.
Yeah, buy Doge, please. Don't buy Cardano? Is that what you said?
Oh,
buddy.
Shep. He's been brainwashed.
Oh,
he's like, buy Flow.
All right, easy. I was in the mouth. All right. Okay, so we are going to drop this link here. Thank you for putting up with that little segment here. There's a lot of comments coming through as well that we will get to as I drop the link. Thank you guys again. Buffalo pretty much hit it. You guys have been awesome all the way through, and definitely we've got a lot of content, as you can see on the screen there. So drop the link there. I pinned it. You guys are earning LADZ tokens. Make sure you rank up as you continuously get more LADZ throughout the time you are with us. So our vibe, our tribe. Buff, you got anything else before I get us out of here?
Oh, you said it. Our vibe, our tribe. See you guys in LADZ City.
Awesome. As our man Dimitri used to say, and I'm sure still says out there somewhere, happy trading.